Hello people of the internet, I'm Devon Plan and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about something I have a genuine interest in, the League of Ireland. Some of you already know I'm a pretty big Waterford FC fan, and I'm going to try and keep my biases in check here as I look at the league objectively. I'm going to have also a look at the first week of games, but I wanted to post my predictions before the league started, and obviously I never got around to that with the pre's and all. So here's the table I predicted before the start of the season, and I'll be talking, of course, as I said, about how the first week of games changed that. First things first though, the first division. I'm still in time for my predictions for that, hopefully. By the time this video goes up, I might not be, but at time of recording I am. I didn't really have time to do this because we didn't know who was going to be in it, because we didn't know about Shamrock Rovers B and Limerick FC, and then Athlone Town looked like they were going to be in it, and they didn't look like they were going to be there, and it's all a mess really. But now that the teams we know are going to be there, I can make my table at last. And so I'm going to be going through this one by one. So at 10th place I have Shamrock Rovers B, and this really isn't so much an honest prediction as just I really don't know where this team will finish, so this is why I put them at the bottom. It really doesn't matter either way where I finish this because the team can't get promoted. I don't even know who's going to play for it really. People have been saying Sinclair Armstrong, and he could be a player to watch. I know that the coach is Aidan Price, who does have League of Ireland experience, so it's going to be interesting to see. I do think they'll get one or two very big wins, but right now I just haven't placed the 10th for lack of importance. Yeah. So anyway, number 9, moving on, is Wexford FC. Wexford have signed well in the off-season. Tom Murphy from UCD and Kaleem Simon from Cabinteely are two big additions. I just see all the other teams really as just being better than them, so it's going to be hard. Wexford could potentially push on in future seasons, I don't know. But right now it just doesn't seem like they have enough. Number 8 is Athlone Town. Athlone had an incredible start to last season, followed by much of the same as troubled the club since relegation from Premier Division in 2014. Hang on, I'll bring this closer. Probably can't hear me. Anyway, is that better? Hopefully. Yeah, I'm not recording it again though. This is my only take. Off the field troubles appear to bring the club towards a similar fate to Limerick FC. But on the field, Adrian Carberry, the manager, has assembled a talented young squad, with the big addition being Joel Kustrin. Darren Meehan adds some much needed experience to the side, so I don't think it'll be all bad for Athlone, and if they keep the team together they could definitely improve in future seasons. I do hope they improve though, because this is probably one of the most hard to follow teams in the League of Ireland, so yeah. I was there before, don't worry. 7th I have Cabinteely, and this is kind of one of my more shocking picks. Because it was tough to put Cabinteely this low after the excellent season they had last year, but unfortunately the squad has lost a lot of talent. Most notable is Rob Manley, the first division top scorer last season, who is now with Longford Town. Other departures include Jack Watson, Kaleem Simon, and Stephen McGuinness, Jack Tuitt, and Yuta Sasaki. The youth system is very good at Cabo though, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the team competing up in the future. I just don't think it'll be this season, but you know what, they could surprise me. I really don't know, but I just think this is going to be their down year. 6th I have UCD. The new model has shown its flaws yet again, I think, because Liam Scales, Neil Ferrugia, Gary O'Neill and Conor Kearns have all left from last season, leaving the UCD side looking very weak. I will say that Yo-Yo Maddy was a very good player at Premier Division level, and the signings of Jack Keeney and Liam Kerrigan from Sligo Rovers were both excellent additions. Colin Whelan is a player I was devastated to see leave Waterford, and I have no doubt he'll make a name for himself in the first division, to be then snapped up by Dundalk or Rovers, where Waterford can only look at what could have been. Fuck! 5th is Cove Ramblers. Cove have fallen off somewhat since their title challenging season in 2017, when they pushed Waterford in the first season under League Power. So to give an unexpected shock to see them do so, and I think this could very well happen again. John Kavanagh and Darrell Walsh are two very good fullbacks, especially for first division level. Goalkeeper Paul Hunt is a veteran of the club, so don't expect to see the side concede too many goals. All in all, it could be a season to remember for those at St. Colman's Park, though I think promotion playoffs just might be a bridge too far for this team. However, you would know, and to be honest, Cove's social media team is just the best in the league, so to see them at Premier Division level, while it would be a bit redundant, I feel, they wouldn't really be a big addition to the Premier Division. It would be funny to see that social media team getting more spotlight every week. So yeah, let's move on. 4th and the first of the playoff teams is Bray Wanderers. Since looking as though they were going to go out of business 2 years ago, Bray Wanderers have rebounded nicely and look this season as though they'll challenge for promotion. They pushed Cabinteely close last season, and I'd be expecting them to go one better than last year and make the playoffs. They've kept a lot of key players from last season, such as Gary Shaw and Paul Keegan, with that experience. But they have young talent like John Ross Wilson and Tristan Noak Hoffman, who will blend together nicely with new signings such as the brilliant capture of Aaron Barry from Cork. Honestly, this team could win the league, but I would be surprised if they did. Still, I think it'll be a good season for Bray. The three teams that I had to pick next were really three teams that could have won the league. I think I could have put these in any order, but this is the order I decided on upon further inspection. Third is Drogheda United. The Drogheda were painfully denied promotion twice last season. Yeah, they had a chance to win the league at home to Shells in Dublin, which they obviously didn't do. Then in the playoffs against Finn Harps, they lost to a late goal from Harry Ascroft, which conferred another season in the first division for the South Loud side. Aside from Athlone, I can't think of a team which has had a longer suffering fan base. Watching Dundalk win everything in sight while they literally can't compete in the same league. I'm predicting that might change this year though, as Drogheda have made several good signings, the best of which is, in my opinion, is Hugh Douglas from Bray Wanderers. Young goalkeeper David Odomosu is a player I'm predicting will be a breakout star, and because of that I don't see many goals being conceded here. Having said that, I do think the two sides above them have a little bit more. The first of those two sides is number 2, Longford Town. Longford have definitely made a lot of noise in the off-season. Keeping key players like Dean Zamber, Dean Byrne and Sam Verdon certainly helped. Then they went and signed Rob Manley, which looks like the signing of the window in the first division. Goals would be in no short supply in the Midlands. Longford are one of 3 teams I could see winning the league come October. While I do have one team ranked above them in my predictions, don't be surprised to see Longford back in the big times next year. That would be good actually, you know, a Midlands team wouldn't be bad. But this is a team I would actually like to see up, and I do think that looking at it objectively and unbiased, this is definitely the team that has the best chance at winning the league. Number 1, Galway United. I simply couldn't look past Galway. For all the noise Longford made in the off-season, Galway have made more. After a disappointing 7th place finish last season, many new faces were brought in. From Waterford FC, Shane Duggan and Dino Halloran. From Finn Harps, Joshua Smith and Mikey Place. Especially interesting was the signing of former Atletico Madrid youth player Alberto Cabañas. Galway have squad depth, but is full of quality as opposed to players simply making up the numbers. I couldn't rank this team anywhere except first for the first division. So now, once that's done, you can agree and disagree and whatnot. This video is going to be slightly longer than what it usually is, though, of course, because of the first division predictions and whatnot. But yeah, I'm going to be doing my team of the week for the first division of the League of Ireland, and I'm going to be including first division players next week. Although it'll have to be like an exceptionally good performance for it to be a first division player. But yeah, anyway, it was really tough to pick this week, and yeah, I'll just get into it. Like, this wasn't a great week to start this, to be honest. There wasn't a lot of great football for me to look at. I was counting on the Dublin Derby to provide a few players, but yeah, even if RTE had the balls to go out in the wind, it wouldn't have mattered. But still, I managed to come up with a team, so here we go. On goal for this team we have Brian Murphy, and it was no contest for the goalkeeping spot. Brian Murphy made an outstanding return to League of Ireland football, made several crucial saves to hold on to a narrow 1-0 win for the Blues. Starting in defence at right back, I have Joseph Olowu, the first player from a team that lost this week. Arsenal loanee Olowu was by far the best player on the pitch for Cork City in a narrow 1-0 defeat to Shells. While he earns this spot primarily for his ability to get down the wing, he was solid enough in defence to justify this pick as well. Akinwale Odemayo was the first of 2 centre-backs. Both Odemayo and his centre-back partner Andre Burley were impressive for Waterford in Richmond Park, having been announced just earlier that day. The chemistry between the two was obvious, but Odemayo earns the spot for having a few more highlight reel moments. And then partnering Odemayo and centre-back is Andy Boyle. Andy Boyle was just one name that I expected to have on this team, but I didn't really think so when I looked at the games. Having said that though, Derry were kept very quiet when going out the middle, so yeah, that was obviously a sign that he was doing something right. But of course, yeah, Andy Boyle, an experienced centre-back, and pretty much, you can't say much other than he deserves the spot. He kept Tim Nielsen and Walter Figueira very quiet. They did have, of course, a few opportunities, but with attacking talent that good, you have to expect that they're going to get something, and Andy Boyle kept that to an absolute minimum. And then for left back, his Dundalk teammate Dane Massey. Dane Massey had a tough job in his hands to hold off a Derry winger who's also on this team. But he has caused plenty of problems on his own, and he of course scored the winning goal for Dundalk, so I think that justifies his place enough. Moving on to the 3 midfield men in this 4-3-3 formation. Starting off we have Conor Clifford. He's first of 3 midfielders I've chosen, as I said. Clifford has a difficult task to contain Dundalk's midfield. Played a tight passing game. He did well in his first game, and Derry fans can look forward to seeing improvement from this side, especially from players like Conor Clifford and Conor McCormack, who I don't think I included on this list. And then moving across midfield, we have Aaron McAneff. Aaron McAneff was creating all sorts of problems for Bows. One of the brighter sparks on the field for Rovers in a pretty much disappointing Dublin derby. tested James Talbot on several occasions as well, and you know, that's really all I can say. But yeah, the other player in midfield is Jack Byrne, and well, there's a lot I can say about him. But he was once again the best player for Rovers, and probably the best player on the field in the Dublin Derby. Almost all of Rovers' play came through him, and it was no fluke. I really do dread playing Jack Byrne. I expect him to be in many more of these teams of the week. Then moving on to the front three, we start off with the wingers. Left wing, Michael Duffy, from a Rovers starman to Dundalk. Sorry, my script is fucked. Michael Duffy tore up the wing against Derry, creating many headaches for them as he crossed and tested Peter Cherry, almost scoring himself. Duffy looks to be the key man for Dundalk following the departure of Robbie Benson and Jamie McGrath, and he's well capable of filling that role. Opposite him is Derry winger, as I mentioned, Jamie McDonough. On the opposite side of the ball to Michael Duffy, who was equally as impressive on Friday night. With a stubborn centre half pairing stopping the majority of attack up the middle, Derry had to rely on McDonough to provide attacking chances, and provide he did, and they were very unlucky not to score or get anything out of that game. Up front, it was a real toss-up. This was the hardest position to pick for. Only 3 strikers scored on opening weekend, so it was a contest between Aaron Green, Carlo Sullivan and Kieran Kilduff. Matty Smith and Tim Nielsen were good too. But I think that goals are the best metric to measure a striker's performance off. So Aaron Green is the man who's starting up front for this contest, scoring in the Dublin Derby and not much else. The other 2 goals were equally as scrappy, by the way. The bench, and just not going to go over any of these players, just going to show you. Anyway, as you can see, the bench was tough to pick. Sligo were the only team with no players here, but it was close. I think poor finishing let them down badly. Other than that, Ronan Coughlin might have made it here. As for player of the week, it has to be Brian Murphy. Very easy decision. When picking this, I had to ask myself, how would the game have gone if this player was replaced with an average player having an average performance? And when asking myself that, I can't look beyond Brian Murphy. Pats were denied by several fantastic saves, and it looks like Murphy will have many more games for the Blues, or will win many more games for the Blues with fantastic performances like these. Then we move on to last item of the week, my predictions. I'm going to be doing first division predictions. I just didn't have time to get anything out, so I'm doing this video very quickly. Shelbourne versus Dundalk, the only matchup between 2 winning teams last week, so I'm saying this is undoubtedly the game of the week. Or not undoubtedly the game of the week, I'm saying this is the game of the week in terms of quality. Shells have actually just sold out, I've been informed from Tulketh Park, so that will be a very interesting atmosphere. Shells undoubtedly have a much tougher time against Dundalk than they did against Cork, and Dundalk have already taken down a tough opponent in Derry City. All signs point to this being a Dundalk victory, but is there anything Shells can do? Home field advantage would be big, and Shells would look to frustrate the Lilywhites into making mistakes. Kieran Kilduff, the former Dundalk man, will be the source of goals that Shelbourne score, but the former he won't get too many chances, I don't think. I think Dundalk just have that bit of quality that's going to see them through to another winning start. Shells, though, will push them. The scoreline will not reflect fairly on them, though. I'm predicting Dundalk 2, Shelbourne 0. Shamrock Rovers versus Cork City. Like above, the outcome seems obvious. Rovers will have an easier time, not because of the inferior opposition, but because conditions will be much better. I expect that to favour Rovers' style of play, but Cork have a talented squad that won't be a pushover. I think we'll start to see the squad gel together with the likes of Dylan McGlade and Joseph Alowu causing problems for Rovers. I think this will be a fairly comprehensive win for Rovers all the same, as the City squad is still very new, and I think they'll at least pick up a goal. Full-time score prediction, Shamrock Rovers 3, Cork City 1. And then Waterford FC versus Bohemians. As a Blues fan, I haven't felt this excited about a game in a long time, and I expect the strong home crowd will benefit the home side here. Bows come into this game missing Dinny Corcoran through injury, and Andy Lyons through suspension, but having Danny Mandrew back will be a boost to the squad. Having Brian Murphy on goal is a massive boost for Waterford, and it means Bows will have to create a lot of very good chances to get anything out of this game, and considering they're missing players, that might be a bridge too far. Chris Twardek and Andre Wright might create problems, but I think Waterford are up to it. One thing I will say is that I have yet to see a proven goal scorer in this Waterford team, and that might create a problem in itself, but overall I think the Blues just have enough to edge this one. Waterford 1, Bows 0. Sligo Rovers versus St Patrick's Athletic. The only game between 2 teams that lost last week, Sligo and Pats will be looking to get their seasons going. Pats have the more talented squad, but Sligo's squad has spent more time together, so this is a tough one to call. Liam Buckley will be eager to get a win over his former team, but last week's display against Finn Harps wasn't too encouraging. Giving Sligo the benefit of the doubt and saying it was down to the pitch at Finn Park, I still wonder how well they'll do this year. Pats are still experiencing growing pains as a squad, but I think last week's performance, though at times poor, showed that they can create chances and take them too. Injuries are beginning to mount up for Sligo as well, with John Mahon and Danny Kane both out for this game. I think this will be close, but Pats have the edge. Full-time score, St Pat's 2, Sligo 1. Derry City versus Finn Harps. And this is what I was saying when Dundalk versus Shells might be the game of the week. I think this will be the one to watch. It's on RTE as well, so yeah, if you want to pay attention to that, you can certainly do that. Forget what I said about Shells and Dundalk. Yeah. On paper, Derry are the far stronger side and they're playing on their synthetic field, so you can expect them to dominate this game. However, Derby days can cause some unusual events to take place, and Harbs have enough talent to cause some problems for Derry. Barry McNamee was a huge signing, and I expect to see him back against his old team, despite not having started against Sligo. Goal scorer Carl O'Sullivan will be joined up front by new signing Cameron Saul, and it looks to be interesting to see what the Londoner can bring to the table. The last Londoner to make his debut at the Brandywell was none other than Walter Figueira, who scored twice against the Candy Stripes in the EA Sports Cup semi-final. Incidentally, Figueira will be a huge threat for Derry, as will Tim Nielsen and Jamie McDonough. Mark McGinley is a very talented keeper and he will be kept very busy against this Derry team. I want to say that Derby will bring out the best in Hearts, but I think Derry just have too much for him. So it's really tough to say. I hope at least we'll get an entertaining game out of it. Derry City 3, Finn Harps 2. And very quickly, of course, the Monday games. Yeah, so there's 2 rounds of games this week. Dundalk versus Cork City. So Neil Fenside have baptism of fire for their new season that continues with a trip to Oriel Park on Monday. It's difficult to see them getting anything out of this one. Dundalk 3, Cork City 0. Waterford FC versus Shamrock Rovers. After this game, Waterford will have played 3 out of 4 Dublin teams. Their most daunting challenge is this one, against a talented Rovers side which has been together since last season. The pre-season friendly was an encouraging result for Blues fans, but Rovers showed their class. Having said that, Waterford have improved since then, and Rovers will be given a tough challenge. I'm predicting a 0-0 draw. Finn Harps versus Shelbourne. This is one of the more interesting matchups for this round, with 2 sides who seem evenly matched when you factor in everything. Finn Park will be a tough place to go for any team, and Shells will learn that the hard way, I feel. Finn Harps 1, Shelbourne 0. And the final game, Bows 2, the 2 teams will be looking for the first points of the season if my predictions are correct. Looking at it, I think Bows will have the edge with returning Denny Corcoran and Andy Lyons to pile the misery on Sligo. Full-time score, Bows 2, Sligo 0. And so that's it. Anyway, I've been around the plan. Thanks for watching my videos, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be back next week, hopefully with more videos to do with League of Ireland, and if this does well, you know, that's certainly what's going to happen. So until then guys, I'll see ya.